executive producing. I'm so excited to hear about this special and that you're executive producing. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, well, Good One, a show about jokes, is an adaptation of Vulture's podcast, Good One, a podcast about jokes. And so what we've done is adapt what was an interview format in the podcast world into an immersive documentary experience where you really get to see how comedy is crafted from the ground up and the sort of the intersection between personal and process. And in this edition, it's Mike Birbiglia, and he is a fantastic performer who really lets us into seeing how he works. I can't quite hear. I don't know if you cut out.
I was asking what the biggest challenge was about working on this.
I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time hearing you a little bit.
Hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I was just asking what the biggest challenge was.
The biggest challenge.
Yes.
Oh, I think the biggest challenge was being able to, have time to both film with him, with Mike, and film the performances because we wanted both. And so that that's a that's a big day with a lot of change for the crew, but we were able to pull it off. But yeah, that was probably the biggest production challenge because in order for this show to work well, we had to have both performance and sort of behind the scenes.
Nice. So without giving too much away, what's one part of it you're most looking forward to everybody seeing?
I'm really looking forward to audiences seeing how how hard Mike works, which is to say that he is a craftsman of comedy, that he really takes it seriously, and that has a very high bar, not just for jokes, but in terms of personal revelation, personal truths. And so, I'm just very interested in process, or I wouldn't be a documentary filmmaker. And whether it's a musician or a sculptor or a chef, I think seeing somebody take raw ingredients and turn them into a finished dish, which is what a comedy routine or a set is fascinating. So I'm excited for audiences to see that.
And what's one thing you learned about Mike that you surprised it out during this whole process?
I think, well, I knew that Mike was an inspiration to other comedians. What I didn't realize was how much he worked to champion other voices in comedy, to really um, collaborate with them and to give the benefit of his experience because he delighted in the work of others. Is very genuine and real, and that was exciting to see. I myself was a fan of Atsuko, and but I had no idea that Mike had had an impact on her special, The Intruder, which I had seen and loved until we made this project. So that was really a revelation for me, his impact on other comedians' work.
Now, was it something that you filmed pretty special that didn't make it in that maybe on the sequel or another project?
I'm so sorry if you could repeat that.
Yeah, sure. I was just asking, was there anything that you filmed that you wanted to add that didn't make it into the project that you would say added to something else?
I think I think everything you see on screen in Good One, we wanted to be there. Because we were filming his shows. I think there's moments of other jokes or things like that that were wonderful, but didn't necessarily fit into the rhythms of balancing between performance and story. So I think I can't think of anything that we left out that I thought, should have been in. I think it's all there on screen.
And out of all the comedians, what made you choose Mike? I mean, he's incredible, so, but what makes you choose him specifically?
We chose Mike. Well, first of all, Mike had a relationship with Jesse David Fox. Mike had been on the Good One podcast more than once. And so, Mike knew that when we were going to do this, that he that we understood comedy, and that we understood process. And so we were excited because he's so upfront about craft and willing to discuss it and show his process. So it really made him ideal for this because, again, because we are adapting a podcast into a visual medium, the show part is important. So I think the fact that Mike's process is so tactile and involves, multicolored note cards and journals and is really something that you can see, was perfect.
And what's next for you? I mean, I'm sure you have a ton of projects in the works.
I do have a ton of projects in the works, and the thing is that they take time. So there's nothing that I can discuss right now, although there are extremely exciting things that I am working on and that I will, can't wait for people to see, but can't talk about them just yet.
No. So what would be your dream project to have?
A dream project for me?
Yes.
I think a dream project for me would be, let's see, another big music project would be a dream for me because I love music. I was fortunate enough to make a music documentary with Morgan Neville a few years ago called Troubadours about the birth of the singer-songwriter scene. And I think it would, yeah, I would love to, there are stories that I would love to communicate through music. And, the only way you can do that is to have the artist and the access to the music. And those things are expensive to make. And so that's a dream, is to make a really big, impactful music project.
Nice. And since we're about out of time, I want you to describe Good One in 3 words.
Immersive, revealing, funny.
Wonderful. Well, Eddie, it was a pleasure to speak to you. I appreciate you and best of luck with everything.
Hey, thanks so much, Sammy.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Yeah,
Thank you,
you too.
Sammy.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.